I am Dariella Nieves, and you are Kicking It With Me. So this episode is going live at the end of November 2018, and what a year it has been. It's been such a crazy year. I know there's one more month to go, but it has just been such a roller coaster. So many ups and a lot of downs, but I'm glad to be back. And it's been a couple of months since I've recorded a podcast, but I just really didn't have that much to say. Didn't know what to say. I guess I did have a lot to say, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm here. I recently relocated and became a homeowner for the fourth and hopefully final time. I didn't get to move in for a month after I closed due to some remodeling, and although there's still remodeling going on, my master bathroom is being completely redone. I'm mostly settled in. So in this absence that I've had over the past couple of months from the podcast, I've been listening to tons and tons of other people's podcasts, but it's hard for me to find something to say that other people haven't already said. And I think this episode may be something you've heard before. I'm sure people have brought this particular topic to the forefront many times, but it's in the forefront of my mind because it's the beginning of the biggest shopping season of the year in America. So the holiday shopping season has just begun. Black Friday happened to be on my birthday this year. It was on Thanksgiving last year. And I normally don't participate in this frenzy. I don't get up early or don't go out late. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm pretty much a homebody. I prefer to be home, and I was surrounded by family. Thank God I was surrounded by family in this first difficult year of the holidays as a widow. Actually now the same age my husband was when he passed away because he was a year older than me. So it's kind of crazy. This is also my first episode that I've done in my new home. Of course, with home ownership comes many new responsibilities and phone calls, millions of forms to fill out, letting everyone know that you have moved, and so on and so on. I've been dealing with a lot of frustration when it comes to both. This is not a business podcast. We're just kicking it right now. Normally, I talk about personal development types of issues and topics, and I do interviews with people, although this year I really haven't done hardly any since the beginning of the year just because of all the chaos that's gone on in my life. But I want to spend this episode discussing customer service and customer points of view, particularly mine, and I'm sure some of you will be able to relate. I want to talk about improving the customer experience. So, yeah, this is kind of a rant, I admit it. I really detest having to call a company for customer service. I will do whatever I possibly can to avoid it. You know, if I can tweet you, if I can find an FAQ, the website, that's what I'm going to do first. I really don't want to be on the phone because of everything that comes along with it, having to, give your whole life history before you can get to the point of the reason for your call. And that's just to name one thing. Those voice prompts start, and it usually takes a minimum of 2 to 5 minutes from the time that you place the call until you can reach a human being to solve your issue. And if the wait is longer than that 5 minutes, I just pray. When the wait is longer than 5 minutes, I just pray that the call doesn't disconnect so I don't lose my place in the queue. Now, from a consumer point of view, looking at this as being a customer myself of many things, many products and services, I have to say that most of the time, what it comes down to is not so much price, but service. You need to really think about this, whether you are a customer or you're the business person. I don't have a problem paying a little bit more for a product or service that meets my expectations or exceeds my expectations. As a business person, you have to think about what is the experience that I am getting by working with you. Am I buying something from you because it's the most convenient place for me to go to get it? Or is it just because I know that even if I have to make an effort to get to you or to get your product or service, that you're going to treat me right? Do you honor the way that you say that you work? Are you organized? Are you fair? Do you honor the offers that you make? Do I have a good feeling during the entire experience? when I'm looking for something to buy from you. And then when I buy it and maybe use a discount code if there is one, does it work? Do I have to jump through hoops? Is everything all good with the item once I get it home, or once it's delivered to my door and I start using it, or once someone comes to my door to provide the service, or I go to your establishment to provide the service and I leave? November and December, it just almost goes without saying that we're inundated with marketing emails and sales, whether it's TV, apps, driving down the street, just everywhere you look, people are like shoving all different kinds of causes and sales and everything in your face. Part of my job, one of my professions, is that of being a voice artist. I do professional voiceovers, and I lend my voice to magnify causes and bring awareness to problems, as well as products in the marketplace that, yes, are sales. But I want to be clear with companies that are big and small out there, whether you're an entrepreneur, a freelancer, and us as customers, that you have a choice. You have a choice in the way that you do business. You have a choice to make consumers' lives just a little bit easier when they get frustrated and they have to go ahead like me and begrudgingly call that toll-free number to get an issue resolved so that they can ask a question that they would much rather be able to find on your website, or that when they find it on your website, it actually is true, or the steps bring them that desired result, and they still don't have to go through all the steps and still call you. I am also a technical writer. I work full-time in technical writing, as I have for the last 20 years. And the main thing that I do is write procedures and instructions about very, very technical concepts. Trust me when I tell you that the websites that I use as your everyday average customer are all less technical and less complicated than the instructions that I write about for work. Even the websites that explain how to set up a website for the first time. I have a WordPress website, which was the original home of Kicking It with Doree, which is DoreeAllen.com. And then I also have a website on Squarespace, and that's where Kicking It Doree now lives. So I know what I'm talking about. Now, if there is no documentation about how to do something, if you're trying to complete a task like, but you're buying something online, that's the task, or you're putting together a piece of furniture, or you're navigating your website and it's not intuitive, then you have something to improve on with your customer service. Because I believe the goal should be to make it as easy as possible for a potential client to buy your product or service, not to make them jump through hoops, having to call you to ask a simple question after answering 20 million questions of themselves and waiting on hold for 20 minutes just because your website is lacking in the help or the frequently asked questions section. What this all comes down to here is usability and user experience. And if your customer, let's say that's me, has a great user experience buying from you, using your product, I will not be able to wait to buy it again and or tell other people how great it was so they can buy it. Something that I used to do a long time ago, like about 15 years ago, I used to go crazy doing mystery shopping. I lived in the DC area and there was no shortage of places for me to shop. I used to go to different kinds of stores, whether it was a fast food restaurant. I won't name any brands just in case, but for confidentiality, but fast food restaurants, computing store, electronic stores, things like that. Any place where, department stores, I would go into these places and I would complete a task that was given to me in detail. I would be told how much to spend if I was spending my own money and how much I would get reimbursed, questions to ask, things to look for, whether I had to time how long it took to get through the drive-through, things like that, because it was giving feedback to that company on their service and how well or not so well they were doing and which locations were getting the best scores or the worst scores. There are also user testing websites out there where anyone can create an account and you can get paid $10, $20 or more to give feedback about different mock-ups of websites for stores and the like in exchange for your thoughts. So you would go on the website, make an account, you'd sign up for different surveys. There's a few questions to screen you to see if you're the kind of customer that would typically be right for that particular task. And you go through and record yourself. Doesn't take usually more than 10 minutes. Record yourself thinking aloud while you're going through the website, talking about completing different things that they ask you to do. Like, for instance, if you go on a website like a premium cable channel to see how you would find a particular movie, or figure out how to plan a trip overseas. Like, what would you do? Would you go shopping? Would you do restaurants? And how would you navigate the website to find things? Or how would you go on a retail website to find a pair of jeans to buy? What are the menu items you would click on to be able to drill down to find that pair of jeans that you're looking for, whether it's by color, size? As you look around on the screen, you are thinking aloud about how easy or difficult it is and what your thought process is in doing that. And don't scoff, because trying to find a pair of jeans to buy online is not a simple task for women, okay? Especially those of us with curves, okay? So again, this is just a little rant. It's just a little something that is on my mind. I've been kind of silent for a while, and I do know a lot of you guys have been listening and supporting this podcast for the last 4 years, and I'm so blessed that I've been able to help some of you with various things in your life. And this episode just is not about that. It's about business, and it's about your experience. This is something that affects our lives. It does affect you when you get so frustrated with all these things coming at you and the experience isn't right. And whenever I get on the phone with a customer service department of a company and something doesn't make sense to me, I just become a consumer advocate. And I'm like, listen, you've got to give some feedback to your people, your experience team, whoever, your webmaster. Let them know how hard it is, how it's not intuitive, how this doesn't make sense, how it's a pain for some of us to have to wait to call you to ask these simple questions. I will give you this one tip that might help some of you who are entrepreneurs, freelancers, or people that are thinking about starting a small business. And there's a question that sometimes hinders us from getting started. I know I thought about it, and I've seen other people ask this question in Facebook groups and things. The question is, why should I start my business when there are so many other people out here that are already doing the same thing? How am I going to stand out and differentiate myself in a sea of sameness? And what I say to that is, you must bring that flavor that only you have, that allows you to do what you do in only the way that you can do it. It's not necessarily having the lowest price or the prettiest package, although it is great when you can get something that you need for a low price and it looks beautiful. But I say, provide excellent customer service, whether you're a contractor, sell shoes, create digital products. Provide excellent customer service and give people an excellent experience for current and potential buyers, and for your potential buyers so they become your lifelong clients. Case closed. I'm done. Send your questions and comments about this show to kickinit@DereeAllen.com. That's KICKINIT. There's no G. At DereeAllen.com. Or you can use Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to get to me at Deree Allen.